televiewer. Well, today I'm going to have a go at removing some of this Torchis so that I can get it back to the bare skeleton of wood, and then I can see what I have to insulate, face, whatever, because you can see from the plaster area here and the stone there, that's the top of the wall plate, top of the wall, between the new end and the barn. So from here up to the wherever the ceiling is going to be, where the purlins are, that needs to be a wall. Above that will be loft space. And since the barn is likely to be open to the full ceiling, then we'll probably need to put a wall at the very least on the other side. So we then have to think about what areas need to be insulated, sealed off to stop cold moving from one area to another. So let's get it back to the bare bones and then we can see what we're working with. I mean, we could just face over this with plasterboard, put insulation in behind it and leave the Torchis where it is. But by its nature, Torchis degrades. And so you'd start to hear sort of like little bits of rubble and sand falling down behind the plasterboard, which it's not nice. So, and also things like rock wool will be a better insulation to pack that gap out with than Torchis. So, and also we can remove some of this wood as well, possibly, hopefully. Now, I am standing on my hop-up over here, and the hop-up is straddling the cavity where the stairwell is. So if I step back that way, I'll probably fall straight down the hole. So hope that I don't do that. Well, that's progress. I'm just gonna, these are all steamed up, so I'm gonna go downstairs and clean these up. I might actually get a respirator. Bit dusty. As you look at these, there's some of these uprights that aren't actually nailed into more than 1 or 2 pieces of wood. So I think, I think several of those are going to go. But other ones may actually provide some structural benefit. We'll see. I'll be back in a sec. Let me just show you something. This is one of my concerns at the moment. So you have this purlin here, which is supporting all of the chevrons, all of the rafters that support all the tiles. This purlin is resting on this, I suppose you could call it a common rafter, or in French it would almost be an arbaletrier, but I don't think it is. But anyway, as you go down, you can see it's not actually resting on the wall plate. It seems that it's sort of nailed about here and up there somewhere. It's nailed to some other bits of wood which sort of form a structure. So I've got to be careful about which of these uprights I remove in case this piece of wood that the purlins are resting on loses its support, because that would basically mean that the whole of this roof would just cave in. So when I come to do the roof back, I think I might have to replace that piece of wood and have a proper joint down the bottom here to the wall plate. And up at the top, you can see it's not actually resting on or even reaching the king post. So I think I'll have to have a better connection to the king post up the top there. Anyway, but you can see that some of these strips of wood, like this one here, it doesn't reach the top, it touches the bottom, and this piece of wood here, there's absolutely no reason for it to stay. So once you've removed that piece of wood there will pretty much just fall out, and there may be others which are the same. So I'll carry on and do this panel here, but I think I'm going to need a ladder. As I mentioned, my hop-up was balanced precariously over the stair cavity, but at least when I'm doing that panel there, I can rest a ladder on a bit of the floor here to get to it. So that should be a little bit safer. I'll probably remove these pieces of wood here and move them across to that side. I'll just shut you off for a second whilst I go and adjust things. Well, I carried on and up to the height that I could reach with my little hop-up. So to get to those upper panels, I'll need to get the ladder out. But I went all the way along here. I removed the actual frame that was around there and that lower section of wall and the torchis on this bit here, which is now down on the floor. The other side of it obviously fell into the barn, which is down there somewhere. But this side is fairly clear now. So I'll get the ladder out and do that up a bit soon. It's kind of dusty. the goggles just get fogged up and I can't see what I'm doing. So tell me if I do something wrong, all right? Oh, job done. There's a lot of dust up there, so it's a case of probably brushing quite a lot of the dust away now, so that it doesn't just fall every time I try and move something around. A lot of those bits of wood are quite loose as well, so some of them are not going to stay. But the cross pieces and the diagonals are probably going to stay because they're probably relatively structural. Not bad. Now I've got quite a lot of cleanup to do. Have a look down here. Quite a lot to do. So I'll start shoveling that into bags. I'm sure you don't want to see me shoveling up rubble. So I'll switch you off and clean that up, and we can see each other another day.